So good afternoon. Let's try one more time. Good afternoon. Got to get some good energy, positive energy in this room. Welcome to our monthly Community Coalition meeting. My name is Tracy Parsons. I facilitate these meetings each month. I want to thank you for coming out. This is just one of the coolest times of the month in our community where we get the chance to come together, hear about all the great things going on, sometimes talk about some really serious, significant issues. We get a chance to celebrate one another. As you all know, out doing this work and in the community, you don't often get told thank you for the countless hours and times you spend thinking about the work that you do and how you can do it better and how we can reach our community members more effectively and how we can come together and connect, right? Because when we go back in our silos, we have to defend that. So when we come here, we put all that down and we try to figure out how we work better together. In our January meeting, is Bev here from United Way? Bev and Michelle from the Schools Foundation is going to lead us in an exercise to get to know one another. So January, you want to bring business cards or you want to bring your welcoming, friendly attitude so you can meet some new and different folks. So that's the pre-warning for January. Next month is our end of the year review and celebration. You know, we do this work every month, every day, each week, and we just do it, right? And we don't take time to say, look at all what we've done together this year. Look at all the folks that we've helped. Look at how many of these really tough, complex issues that we've addressed this year, right? We don't take the time to do that, so that's what our December meeting is each year. First timers here at Coalition meeting. So let's give them a special round of welcome. All right, so tell me, how many times have you been in this space in our community and seen all the representation that's here, right? It just doesn't happen. So that's why we do the introductions. I know it's time consuming and it gets a little boring and folks use their shy voices and those things, but it's really important stuff. So a couple of months ago, we had our Black Mental Health and Wellness Conference. It went really, really well. So Michael and Donna are going to share a little bit about the conference.
Good afternoon. My allergies are bad, so if my voice cracks and so forth, just ignore it and just pay attention to what we're talking about, okay? All right. Well, I want to take a few minutes to talk about the conference, the third annual Black Mental Health and Wellness Conference. It was held Saturday, September the 20th at Parkland College. How many of you were in attendance? A good number. Not good enough, but we'll wait till next year and you'll have your opportunity to go. I first want to thank the committee who worked very, very hard throughout the year to make this conference happen and to make it something that we can all be proud of. And for the sake of time, I want to ask you to hold your applause until everybody's been recognized, but I would like for them to stand and just show your appreciation for all the work that they did. First, Tracy Parsons. That would be to stand. Up, let's hold. Michael, couldn't have done this without Michael. J.R. Lill, I don't think he's here yet or at all. Carlton Brewitt, Micaiah Thomas from Public Health, and Maria Burke from Parkland. Now let's show them our appreciation. This was our third annual conference, and as with the first two, it was successful in large part due to the outstanding group of experienced, knowledgeable, and dedicated professionals that gave so freely of their time and talents. We're going to show you a couple of pictures of the presentations. And Dr. Lau, the president of Parkland College, gave a welcoming address. These presenters provided evidence-based information, lively, interactive presentations, and many stayed around for the day and to answer questions and interact with the audience. If you were a presenter, whether it was this year or in past years, please stand. I know Dr. Klingenberger said thank you. Thank you. Let's give them a round of applause. Do you have those? No, you don't have that. And then we have our sponsors. Each year we have organizations throughout the community who give freely, generously to support this conference. I think we have, and this is just a listing. You can take a moment to look it over. And it's increased this year. And also what increased was the number of vendors that we had. The first year we had about maybe 12, and then we went to 17. This year we had 25 vendors come. We had so many vendors and people wanted to share information about their organizations, we couldn't even accommodate everybody. So I think that really shows how the community is responding to this and how you as attendees are coming out and participating. So give yourselves a round of applause. And each and every one of them was really important, but I do want to give a special shout out to Parkland College. They've hosted it every year, and they've just been so generous in their time and accommodations and supporting us in every way possible. When we started this conference 3 years ago, my goal was pretty much threefold. I wanted to bring awareness to the mental health challenges facing the Black community, especially some of the numbers that are growing, that are really alarming, like suicide and suicidal ideation. Suicide is now the second leading cause of death among Black and men and women, the ages 15 to 24, and that's certainly something that we all should be concerned about. Second goal was to offer practical, evidence-based strategies and skills to better understand and meet these challenges. Because there's one thing to know about the problems, it's something else, very much so, to be able to have strategies to really combat it and help people to grow and to learn. And then finally, to decrease the stigma in seeking care and treatment, and to create an environment and a community that builds on a network of support. And obviously there are lots and lots of organizations across the community that are doing that, and we're very proud to be a part of that and to continue to help people to grow and to learn and to heal. We've worked with some incredible organizations and volunteers that continue to further this mission. And I want to just thank everyone who supported this conference in any way. Volunteers, some of our volunteers have been with us for 3 years, and a few people have volunteered for the most challenging session time, which is 7:30 in the morning on a Saturday. They come out, they help register people, give them their bags and things. I don't know if you're here, any of those people that have done that, and you might be embarrassed to say that, but I really, really want to thank you for that. This year we had t-shirts. Isn't this a nice t-shirt? I can't say that this was my idea, 'cause actually I was opposed to it. I thought we don't need t-shirts, and Tracy said, yes, we do. We really need t-shirts. So we have t-shirts, and they're great, and it's so nice to see people in the community wearing the t-shirts, having their bags around. Thank you so much. I appreciate your support, and if any of you have, up until now, I've always referred you to Tracy or to Michael for suggestions, comments, anything, but if you would like to email me or talk to me, I can't stay around today because I have another meeting, please email me at donnatannerherald@yahoo.com, and I'd love to hear from you, your feedback, suggestions, anything you might have to say. Thank you again. Thank you so much.
All right, I thought we were going to show a little more picture. We have some nice pictures that we kind of went through real quick. All right, so for those of you here for the first time, one of the things we really pride ourselves on is our partnership with our law enforcement folks. And at this time, we're going to ask them to come up and do their updates.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Chief Deputy Shannon Barrett with the Champaign County Sheriff's Office. I have a few things today, but I'll try to make it brief. So, since July 28th of this year, we have 0 shooting-related incidents, which is amazing in the county. Our total this year so far is 6, and of those 6, only 1 has had injury. This time in 2024, we were at 7 shooting incidents. So we're down 1 at this time. So 19 firearms seized so far this year in the county. Moving on past the firearms, we do have a scam going around, which this happens a lot this time of year. Actually, we have them a lot during the years, but right now this particular scam is people calling, claiming to be our civil service division of the sheriff's office, telling you that you owe money, you have outstanding warrants, outstanding court fees. We're never gonna call you and ask you for money. We're not gonna ask you for gift cards, anything like that. So if you're getting those calls, it's not us calling. If you believe that you've been a victim of one of those scams, you can call the Champaign County Sheriff's Office and report it. But we will not be calling and asking you for money. So right now with the holidays, our deputies will be focusing on DUIs and seatbelt enforcements, ramping that up for the holidays to keep everybody safe this holiday season. We do have 2 fundraisers going on right now. We just started our 3rd annual, maybe, food drive with the Eastern Illinois Food Bank. We have a friendly competition between the area departments on how much food we can raise. So we brought home the trophy last year, so please donate to the Champaign County Sheriff's Office. You can do that a couple of ways. You can drop it off. We have 3 locations, 1 at the first floor of the Bennett Administration Building, and 2 at the courthouse, 1 on the first floor and 1 on the 3rd floor in the probation court services. Or you can get online to the food bank, click on Sheriff's Office, and donate that way. Also, we are raising money for our Shop with the Cop this year. It's an annual event that we do where we take children out and let them go Christmas shopping. So you can donate to that by going to the United Way and clicking on Donate and Shop with the Cop. I did leave flyers in the back for both of those events if anybody's interested. There's a link that you can click on both. So that's all I have.
Hey everybody, I'm Jason Bradley. I'm the operations captain at the University of Illinois Police Department. I want to give a couple of case updates for some events that we had over the kind of the late fall here. First one, on the 28th, our officers responded to a fight in the 600 block of East Green Street with reported about 50 people involved. While they were investigating that, they found 1 juvenile offender who was refusing to identify himself or cooperate with law enforcement. While they were trying to put him in the car to get him back home where he needs to be, a handgun fell out of his pants. He was arrested for unlawful use of weapons. While they were continuing to deal with that group, an uninvolved party pointed out another offender in the area that they believed had a handgun. Officers made contact with that. Again, another juvenile offender. Officers made contact with that offender, did a search, spoke with him, ended up finding another handgun in that backpack. So all in all, very safe incident that happened. Nobody was hurt. Nobody was injured through the course of that, but did take 2 loaded handguns off of the street in that incident from juvenile offenders. The other one I wanted to give an update on is the shooting that we responded to on October 18th. We had a shooting near the intersection of 5th and Green with 1 confirmed victim. Business also reported being damaged by gunfire. Officers were on scene, I believe, in under a minute. They rendered aid to that victim, who had a positive medical outcome, throughout the end of that case. The offender ended up being known by staff at the restaurant there, Raising Cane's. Detectives used multiple private and university security cameras to investigate this and kind of aid in the case. The offender was quickly identified. They got a warrant and executed that on the morning of October 20th, so under 48 hours, served a search warrant with the help of the Metro SWAT team on an address in Urbana. They ended up making an arrest of the offender and also recovered the weapon in the shooting and a 60-round magazine with a rifle. So the investigation revealed that the shooting weapon was legally purchased locally, but we're still investigating how the weapon came to be in possession of the offender. Offender had multiple prior arrests locally and here in Chicago, and he's been charged with attempted murder, aggravated battery, and aggravated discharge of a firearm, as well as unlawful possession of weapons. So positive outcome for our victim there and our prosecution. I did want to end with one shameless plug for us. We have not put it on our website or our Facebook yet, but we're already planning for our police officer hiring and testing cycle here in the spring. So we've got a tentative date for April 11th. We'll have more information on our website. We'll have more information coming up on our Facebook page, but we're looking forward to that in the spring. So if you've got good names, if you've got people that are interested in law enforcement, send them our way in the spring.
Hello, everybody. First off, if all the veterans in the room would stand up, please. We would definitely like to recognize you all. Thank you so much. Thank you for democracy. Thank you for being away from your family. And thank you for taking a hard job. On behalf of the Champaign Police Department and my entire Tyler family, we are very grateful to live in this country where you have protected us. Since this last meeting with the Community Coalition, we have not had any reports of shootings. We have, yes, hoorah, yeah. But we have had 2 incidents of shots fired. We did investigate it, but we were not able to find anything. With the reduction of these critical incidents, thanks to all the hard work of everyone in this room, and especially to the community reduction gun violence program that we're doing, we're all one team and we're all putting it in. But this year we've had over 3,900 calls for service. Last year this time, we finished last year with 4,300 calls for service. Right now we're projected to go over that, and that's fine because we're built for it and we're gonna get it done. My highlight, as I always said, community involvement is the most important to me. We've spent 1,853 staff hours, 293 community events so far this year. That's 30 more events and 600 more hours than we had in 2024. Yeah. And I'm also happy to report with the City of Champaign, an amazing human resource department and the team there. We have 0 civilian staff vacancies with the Champaign Police Department that have not been done in the last 13 years. So big shout out to the city council members out there making it happen for us. Lastly, I wanted to share that the Champaign Police, we're doing support to all of those in need. There's no need to talk about what's going on nationally. I just know that we have to step up for our community members, okay? So with that, right now we have in our lobby collection boxes, and we welcome the community to fill them. The first benefit is the Hoy's Center Giving campaign. This will help gather pajamas and toys and books for local children. Please, if you have anything extra, bring it by the Champaign Police Department so we can help our community members. This event ends on December 2nd. The second part is Protect and Feed. The Chief Deputy already mentioned that. That's going to be running until November 21st. All the 6 area law enforcement, we are also accepting canned goods and other shelf-stable food items to help Eastern Illinois Food Bank. So that everyone can be fed. Most important thing, right? Food, shelter, and water, right? So let's make sure we take care of our community members. And then on December 2nd, we're gonna go to the Eastern Illinois Food Bank, and we're gonna repack food so that those food items can get to our community members. We're also finalizing the logistics with our annual Shop with a Cop. Make sure that you check on the website. But Joe Lamberson, if you raise your hand, he's the POC for that. Again, Chief Deputy have already mentioned, if you've never seen this, I recommend that you come out for it. It's nothing like seeing our community members who didn't have a Christmas that get a Christmas. And that's huge. That's huge. That's all I have. I just want to tell you all, if I don't see you before Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving, and may you continue to be blessed and safe, and may you continue to thrive.
Hi, everybody. Just so you know, I filled in kind of last minute for Chief Boone, and I'm not wearing my uniform. So if we could all agree to not tell him that, I'm a little dressed down right now, he wouldn't approve. So we've had 4 reports of shootings since the last coalition. 3 of them were no one was injured. One was an accidental discharge. One was a shooting into a residence where there were occupants inside, and another was 2 vehicles driving and shooting into one another. We had 1 report of a shooting in which a woman was injured, and it was a intimate partner violence shooting. So that leads me into what I want to talk to you about first, which is our partnership with Courage Connection. And we've done a lot with data recently in the Urbana Police Department. And one of the things that we noticed is that our intimate partner violence or domestic violence is one of our leading drivers for crime in Urbana. So with that data in mind, we started doing a more targeted approach. One of the things that Chief Boone always says is it takes crime prevention, takes prevention, intervention, and enforcement. Well, the police department only handles one of those typically, which is enforcement. So we've reached out to our community partners to help us with that. Courage Connection, we just thank them for their partnership, and we're actually doing a drive with them now where we are collecting items for them. We had a drive through at our police department to collect items for them. So it's been fantastic. We got a couple radio spots and TV spots with Mr. Fletcher over here. It's been great. And I think you're speaking with Chief Boone here coming up, right? Awesome. Yeah, so check that out. Also, we have another great partnership here. You've heard their names quite a few times in here. They got good representation. DREAM, the HOPE program. This is a fantastic program that is started in Champaign for victim services and community outreach. When there's an incident that occurs in Urbana, we now have community responders that respond and try to help us out on scene. The things that the officers can't do, reaching out to families, reaching out to victims. The term I like the most out of this is violence interrupters, because what they do is they get into the families and they talk to the families and they try to prevent that retaliatory violence, which is what we see a lot in Urbana. So I just want to give a shout out to them. We've done a lot of great work with them. We did some trunk or treats out there, which Mr. Levi was there, and well, thank you so much for that. This is such a great idea how it came about. A lot of times we see trunk or treats, come to the police department or come to the, fire department. And it was his wonderful idea, let's take the trunk or treat to the community. And so we went to the community where the kids are at, the underserved. And instead of them having to go to rely on other neighborhoods and go somewhere else, we brought it to them. And so that's fantastic. Thank you so much for that. Yeah. I'd also like to highlight some historic promotions at the Urbana Police Department that we've recently had. If you're not aware, we promoted recently 2 deputy chiefs, 3 lieutenants, and 6 sergeants. And why this is such a significant thing, besides the fact that it was a lot of promotions, is that we promoted the first Hispanic deputy chief in Urbana Police Department history. It's fantastic. And I'm proud to say right now that our command staff is the most diverse it's ever been in the Urbana Police Department history, and that's intentional. It's something that we've recognized, and we wanted to give a voice to a representation for our community inside of our police department. That's something we're striving for. Yes, thank you. We've also are working with this organization called the 30 for 30, and what it does is promote women in law enforcement. Their goal is to have 30% of police recruits in America be women by 2030. And there's a lot of data and a lot of research out there. Yeah, it's fantastic. There's a lot of data and research that show that when police departments are strategic in recruiting women to law enforcement, it reduces use of force incidents, it reduces complaints, and it actually encourages more diversity at the police department. So again, we're just trying to be real strategic in that and really push that in the police department. And so a lot of that stuff and the partnerships that we've made and some of the things that we've been able to achieve were only done because, like I said, we started collecting data. It's something we hadn't done before Chief Boone came to our police department. And Chief Boone was actually recognized for that at the recent NAACP banquet for his data-driven approach. So we want to thank you, and thank you for the opportunity. It was fantastic. And Chief Boone is going to be speaking this Friday evening at the I Hotel. So it's a free event from 6 to 7:30, and he's going to be speaking about the violence and interruption in Champaign County. So if you'd like to come out, I'd encourage you. Thank you.
tomorrow? It's Thursday. Thursday. Michael, so let's give law enforcement another round of applause. What a tremendous report and update. For those of you that haven't been around for years to really see how much progress we've made as a community in our police community relations, even law enforcement updates. They used to say to me, Tracy, I hate just coming up talking about shootings and gun violence when there's so much more happening in our police departments, right? So now they come and we still see that we have gun violence stuff we have to address. That never ends, that we want no shootings ever in our community. That's the goal. But to hear all the different things, hear Chief Tyler share about, and all of the police departments, their volunteer time and hours out in the community, out in neighborhoods, we've made unbelievable progress as a community in this area. And I believe we have no comparable outside of Chicago, right? Like, there's no other community in downstate Illinois that's doing the level of police community engagement work together collaboratively. And that, right, yeah, right. So let's give law enforcement one more round of applause, okay? So I forgot at the beginning of the meeting, we've got some needs we need from you. So Michael, why don't you talk to them about our survey, and we got to get you guys filling this out.
If you all notice in your seats, there is another sheet of paper. There is a QR code that will take you to our Community Coalition Priorities Feedback Form. And so what this form will do is it will give us information and data to finalize our priorities for 2026. And so your input is highly valued as we continue to move forward. And so this is an opportunity for you to think about areas that are missing. If there's, a different structure to this meeting that you would like to see, this is your opportunity to provide that information to us. And so we just want you all to fill it out, and please take 5 to 10 minutes. So thank you.
Not right now, because I need you to stay. We're going to make sure before you leave, you do it for us today. Let me see your mic for a second, please. So I'm taking some facilitator liberties. So put your computer down, stand up for me, come up here and see me. So we often talk about our students, our young folks that we're doing this work for, and we don't get an opportunity for our students to come back home. So this is Carmine. He came to us, Coalition, involved with us in his time at Central High School. You now are a sophomore at Eastern?
At Eastern, yeah.
So tell us what's happening with you, Carmine.
Is this on? Hey, everybody. So yes, I am now at Eastern, studying in psychology. Thank you. It has been one of the most smartest decisions that I made in my life. Days are harder than others, but it ultimately is teaching me so much about myself. Aside from academics, you just learn what you can handle, what you can't handle. Having a dorm and having a roommate, it just teaches you so much. I am with the CU 101 mentorship. My mentor, Alan Johnston, he recently passed away, unfortunately. So I wouldn't feel even right giving myself any credit for that. He, over the last 12 years, has helped shape me and give me advice and helped me become the man that I am today. And with that, I want to just thank you all for all of the work that you guys are contributing to the community. It means so much. And just always continue knowing that even on the days that it's hard, remember what our ministry is, and that is to support not only each other, but the youth, because they are the ones who are going to lead. So I appreciate you all for being here today, and I thank you.
All right. All right.
Thank you.
So we did have the CU11 mentoring folks here, I think, in the beginning of the school year, inviting you. So you still can participate if you like. Carmine was also a part of our Goal Getters project, working directly with Sheldon. So just our pouring into this young man, and you see the beautiful young man that he is. And we've all played a role, right? So let's take it. Thank you again.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm changing it up for us a little bit. I'm gonna ask Sheila and Jorge to come up and stand up here with me. I took the chairs away because folks in the back might not be able to see. So unplanned, but it works out really, really well, right? To think about this idea of violence interruption. And then Sheila, I'm gonna have you come down just a little way from the glow of the. There we go. So as we've been doing this work, it's almost getting on a decade of when we started to first see our gun violence spark up as it was nationally. We've been doing very intentional work since 2016. As I shared with you, just our police community, our community involvement, our ability to address gun violence as a community, we're reaching significant levels. So Jorge Elvir is a community relations specialist at the City of Champaign, community relations manager, City of Champaign. He's my peer. We've been embarking on our blueprint for the last several years. So Jorge, the blueprint started in?
So the blueprint started in 2022. It was approved in 2021 at the end of the year, but the initial phase out was in 2022. And since then, we've implemented a holistic approach to addressing gun violence in our community. You guys have heard of dealing with the root causes of gun violence. But since then, we've partnered with over 30 agencies and organizations within the city of Champaign to provide support to our community, from clinical services to trauma-informed services to counseling, hospital-based intervention, moving, providing funds, helping individuals as they go through crisis, property damage, just from A to Z, services that an individual or family may need. And that's not just a family that's directly impacted, but even indirectly impacted individuals who can experience trauma from witnessing or hearing gunshots, right? So we respond to all incidents of gunfire. We work closely with the Champaign Police Department. They directly call me and let me know when there's an incident, and I go ahead and initiate our team from the Equity and Engagement Department, and then they take over and initiate our partners. So we've worked with over 30 organizations to provide preventive, proactive, and reactive interventions to gun violence. Our latest endeavor is going into street outreach, which was always part of the blueprint plan. We tried to initiate it back in 2022. We put out an RFP for that. We didn't get any responses, actually. So we had to seek out services outside of the area to implement the framework here, and I won't steal Sheila's thunder, let her talk a little bit about that. But what I do want to talk about is, since the implementation of the blueprint, there's data that's available through Champaign Police Department and the City of Champaign website. You can go and track that data whenever you want. But just some of the numbers to highlight that I want to talk about is, so overall shootings in 2021, at the end of 2021, before the blueprint started, were 259 incidents, okay? Currently, this year, we have 79 incidents. So that's a huge decrease. That's about 79% decrease in shootings, right? Individuals struck by gunfire in 2021 was 142 individuals. Currently, again, we are at 29 individuals. So that's a significant decrease as well. And shooting incidents involving property damage in 22 were 77, and we're at 18 right now. And that's just some of the highlights of it. That's not one individual or two individuals. That's a community coming together and applying holistic approaches, right? From law enforcement to organizations to city departments. Many city departments are involved in this, and a lot of organizations. So I just wanted to give that highlight to you guys as to the impacts of the Community Gun Violence Reduction Blueprint.
So as we heard about the HOPE initiative and initiative in Urbana, I just want to really applaud our community. This has been the missing issue, the missing point of our ability to address this is how do we get in front of it, right? How do we stop just reacting when there's been an incident? We have been able to structurally put this in place. So this is really key work right now that we have the HOPE initiative in Urbana. We have our contract with Aclivis. Sheila was here a couple of weeks ago as we went around to the community. So welcome aboard. Glad to have you on board. So I want you to do the 30-second infomercial about Aclivis, but what I really want you to talk about is the training that you guys put, how do we figure out structurally and systemically to do this work. So.
Great, thanks for that introduction. And I think, violence is really all about context, right? Any one of us in this room could be a killer depending on the circumstances that we're put in. So I do want to put some context, adding to the context that these gentlemen both provided about Aclivis. Aclivis is a public health organization. We define ourselves that way and focus on the community health side of public health, which means that our solutions are going to be informed by the community constituents that are affected by the issue. So whether we were dealing with tuberculosis or gun violence in this instance, the people that are most affected are the people who can and will drive the change for the positive. So Aclivis itself is a nonprofit. We're based in Chicago. We're an outgrowth of Ceasefire Cure Violence, if anybody's heard of that agency. The CEO and I were in leadership there until that agency sort of changed directions in 2018. We created Aclivis. We were at Ceasefire when violence interrupters as a term was coined. So during our Ceasefire Cure Violence days, we did implementation support, training, and technical assistance all over the country: Baltimore, New York, New Orleans, Kansas City, LA, Oakland, anywhere you could think of. So we've been supportive to different cities, municipalities to implement their own solutions driven by their own people. In Chicago, we have a staff of about 150 individuals who, if I could pop up a map of violence in the community and pop up a map of the zip codes of where our staff live, those are the same maps. Why? Because the people involved have to be driving the solutions. I'm the only 100% white person that works at Aclivis. Everybody else is from the communities disproportionately affected. Over 75% of our staff have documented criminal backgrounds, and I dare you to tell me which ones they are, because we have people at every level of the organization: administration, HR, finance. Everybody's a part of the solution. Everybody's skill set matters. So for us, that's our approach, our strategy to violence intervention, violence interruption, community engagement is core to it. So the goal here, did I answer your question? Because I was going to talk about what we're going to do in Champaign. I'm like on a roll here, but.
No, you're good. I
Okay.
want to give that baseline information.
Yeah.
So talk to us about the training, the connecting piece
You bet.
that I believe is the important part. You talked about working with the population, but training that you guys do.
Correct. So we do training in violence prevention. We're funded by the state to support Reimagine Public Safety training for providers all over the state. But the training it's focused on core competencies, safety protocols, how to do a conflict mediation. The goal is that, we can't replace the context of the individual who's going to be positioned correctly to do the job. They're going to be from here. They have to be from the neighborhoods affected. They have to be the people's champ for those neighborhoods. What we offer is skills development, peer mentorship opportunities. The training that we offer, again, it's focused on that skills development, core competencies for a job, week-long training to start with booster trainings, but you're in a training environment with peers that work in Chicago, that work in Harvey, that work in Aurora, that work in Rockford, in different areas that we provide training to. So you have a network of practitioners and peers, and we do offer access to college education as well, because we're not banking on violence prevention being a career path, we're banking on no violence to prevent. So where are you going after this? So for us, that's really important to empower and educate the people that are most affected by this issue, because that's the long game in really resolving it. I'll be happy to work on another problem if this one doesn't exist, if at least the health disparities are gone, if at least my brothers are as likely as a black man or a Latino man to be shot.
So pass back to Jorge. So I know there's some really key points to this project around local involvement and local engagement, Jorge.
So a couple things. First off, it's 5 positions, right? It's 3 outreach workers, case manager, and a site supervisor. All right. All those positions are from here, right? It's for people here in our community, people that know our neighborhoods, know our streets, right? That's the first thing. The second thing is I want to talk about the training aspect again, right? Because the training aspect is really important because it fits into the Community Gun Violence Reduction Blueprint. When I said we worked with 30 organizations over the past 4 years, it wasn't just that we're funding them and they're doing programs, right? We are intentionally building capacity. We have a grants manager, we have a finance person that helps them on reporting, on doing their audits, on filling out grants and how to do it the right way, building capacity. Because what we've learned is that there's tons of individuals that have passion for the work, but sometimes don't know the infrastructures of keeping the work going and building that infrastructure. It's the same thing with street outreach. We know the individuals that are in the streets and they have the contacts and know the individuals and have the lived experience. But Activist is taking that one step further and providing that training. That initial training that they do is full 1 week, 40 hours, right? They have to go away. They have to go down to Chicago and get this training. And what we're doing through the Community Gun Violence Reduction Blueprint is also recruiting some of our Blueprint organizations that work with us to go get that training as well, right? So we're gonna send some individuals that may not be street outreachers through the organizations to get that training so that that experience is starting to be bred here in the community, okay? The other thing is that on a basis of hiring, I can't emphasize enough how we want to hire. They are looking to hire individuals from this community. A lot of people are saying, oh, we're bringing in somebody from Chicago. Why couldn't we do it here? Well, we are doing it here. They're just building the infrastructure. They're bringing the training. They're bringing the methodologies. Their historical experience in doing this, not just locally, but nationally, is what they're bringing here to build that up, build that capacity so it can have a long life. I think that's about it. You got another question for me, Trace?
I do. I'm gonna give it back to Sheila. But one of the things I want to share to us as a community, and they gave data on their shooters. And our data used to, and I'm not as familiar with it as I used to mirror what you shared, right? So what that means is our shooters are between 24 and 36 or something like that, right? We often, because of it's more horrific when we have a 13 or 14 or 15-year-old that gets shot, that's like, oh my God, our kids, right? But the reality is these are older folks that are involved in this shooting. So there has to be another level of engagement, training, looking at if we can get someone to turn away from the life, what are we offering them, right? I'm always told that by the brothers who have been in. It comes like, okay, if I put it down, what's available for me, right? Where can I live? Where can I find a place? Where can I get a job at, right? So these are the whole, as Jorge talked about, holistic approaches. We just want to get this in front of us as a community. It's a whole, it takes all of us, right? It can't just be one part or the other. Law enforcement and I have always said, we can't arrest our way out of it. We've done a good job getting some of the key folks off the streets. But again, it's got to be a holistic approach. So Sheila, in the last couple of minutes, talk about timeline. I know we're ready to get folks on board.
I'm so glad you're listening to the data about the age, because there's a lot of conversation about like youth violence. Most people, the average age consistently that someone gets shot is 30. That's average. That means a lot of people 40, 50 getting shot and killed. So we really do tailor our programming to adults. So to Jorge's point, the positions are available. They're posted on our website. So you can go right to our website and apply. The 3 roles are on there. I have to stop Too Short from coming down here with me today to do more recruiting. They're very excited to hire. So they've been doing their own networking, our team. We know people here. So we're hoping to hire as soon as possible and implement as soon as possible.
You might want to tell them who Too Short is.
William Edwards, he's one of our field directors. Yep.
She was down a couple of weeks ago. They brought a couple of the guys that do the in the streets work, right? And so they were able to have conversations, start to learn our community. How do you differentiate Champaign between Chicago? I get that all the time. Like Chicago folks don't know what's happening here. So
and we don't have to. What we're doing is bringing a methodology that works and a toolbox that works and good paying jobs that are secure with health benefits. We've done nothing but grow in 5 years. We went from $100,000 to $30 million annual operating budget. So we know how to sustain these jobs and support the people that we employ to be long-term successful. That's what the school is for. That's what our professional development is for. But it is meant to be an off-ramp to any risky behaviors and reducing the number of scenarios where you might be in a position to use a weapon or have one used on you. So yeah, we're looking forward to getting started.
all right, you got something you want?
I just want to, emphasize the fact about the Community Gun Violence Reduction Blueprint, that it's not a program. It's embedded into the Equity and Engagement Department and the Community Safety and Justice Division. This started through ARPA funds, but our city council has approved funding this through our budget, through our city budget. So this is not a grant. This is something that's funded by the city, and that's what we really believe in: systemic procedures, policies, and holistic approach to addressing gun violence that's going to outlast the grant. And that's really important, because we have a lot of grants to come and then they never come back. So we have programs that are implemented for 6 months, maybe a year, and we say, oh, that worked, and then it went away. This is something that's embedded into the city of Champaign and directly serving our residents. So I just want to make sure that we make that clear.
All right, Jorge and Sheila. No, I just really am so proud of us as a community, as an entity. When we think about the fact that our cities, our departments are investing in this work, the fact that each one of our law enforcement departments now has or is piloting or modeling co-responder models for mental health calls, right? You think about all these things. A few years ago, we were talking about the need for them, and we had none of that in place. And now that every department is looking at co-responder, Champaign and Urbana are looking at violence interruption in a whole new and different way. It's just great part about our work. So thank you everybody for that. Let's give them one more round of applause. All right, so we've got some information sharing. And so who's going to talk about the housing stuff? All right, come on up, City of Champaign staff. Let's give them a round of applause as they come up.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lauren Weber, and I'm here with Sarah Tate today. We both work for the Neighborhood Services Department at the City of Champaign, and we're here to talk to you about the housing needs analysis and strategy that we have been working on. It's a long title, I know it's a mouthful, but essentially what it is the city's first comprehensive housing plan in over 15 years now. So I think a lot of us know what the issues are in Champaign or have an idea of it, right? Rents are rising, it is much more expensive to buy a home now. More people are experiencing homelessness than we've seen ever before. But getting kind of the nitty-gritty data of how many units do we need at each income level? What should those housing units look like in terms of where they should be in the city, right? Where do residents want to live? And what kind of housing do they want to live in terms of, are people looking for more rental opportunities? Is there a lot of need for different home ownership opportunities, townhomes, duplexes, different kinds of housing? That's really what we're looking to learn from this plan. And we're also trying to get a strategy. So once we identify these needs and where resident demand is, how can the city encourage and facilitate, maybe through programs, partnerships, policies, the meeting of those needs and the creation of those additional units? Just for a little background on process, we started working on this project in August of this year with RDG Planning and Design. They're a consulting and planning firm out of Omaha, Nebraska, and they have a lot of experience working with university cities. So places like us that have a large university presence, and we know that, right, having universities around, it presents a lot of opportunities, but also some unique challenges in terms of housing. So we've been working with them right now on data collection. It looks like collecting a lot of local data on building permits, right, what rents are looking like, but also doing community engagement. So this week we actually just wrapped up 7 rounds of listening sessions, and I know some of you in this room were there, so thank you for being there again. And those were hour-long conversations with stakeholders about what you all are seeing on the ground, right? If you're a service provider, what are people telling you they're struggling with in terms of housing? If you're a housing provider, what's preventing you from building more housing? What are the barriers to construction? And another big element that we're looking for in terms of community engagement is a survey. So I will pass it to Sarah to talk more about that.
Thank you, Lauren. So as you can see on the screen, we have 3 QR codes. To preface, no one understands the city's housing challenges better than those who live and or work here. So the first survey that's listed up there is the resident survey. We are looking to garner feedback from residents on the housing challenges and experiences that they might have had living in Champaign, looking for housing in Champaign. Whether you're a homeowner, a renter, someone who's been housing challenged in the past couple years, your impact is very valuable and crucial to this process. The second is the landlord survey. So we're looking for more data on the number of units a landlord might manage, vacancy rates, things of that nature. Just to reiterate, your insight in this process is very crucial in helping us create a strategic toolbox for us to utilize and address housing challenges moving forward. So in the table at the back, we have flyers for you all to hand out possibly to your networks. That would be really great. And we would encourage you all to scan the QR codes and also visit the website at Engage Champaign at the housing study so you can follow along with the project. We'll also be going to council on January 13th to give an interim update of all of the data that we've studied thus far. Thank you.
All right, great job. Dr. Janae, you're gonna come up and talk about the annual giving drive.
Thank you. Okay. So I'm gonna, oops, my bad. I'm gonna try to go through this, a lot of information really quickly. So first of all, I am Dr. Jania Klingenberg, the executive director of and founder of the Hoyt Center. We started in Chicago, where I'm from, Chicago, and we started doing violence prevention programs for youth in Chicago, working closely with the Jobs for Youth program with the City of Chicago Mayor's Office. We trained 16 to 24-year-olds on just various life skills, programs. I taught them how to build websites, how to do blog talk radio shows, everything for free. And so I moved down here, and we have 836 nonprofits here. And I was like, wow, like how can I'm serious, right? Moving down here, I was trying to figure out how can I fit in here and help and support and not yet be another program, that pulls, youth out, in the middle of the, semester. And so what I found was, because I'm a professional beggar, and so what I found was, because people kept asking me about, how did you get those donations? How did you do this? Can you get me some? So that kind of became my thing down here, because I saw the need here was different. And so last year we had received and gave away approximately $242,000 of in-kind donations to the community. In the last 4 years, we have given away $803,000. Walmart is my primary donor in Champaign. We get donations from them every week. I receive donations from Amazon, as well as there's other businesses in the community that say, hey, we're going out of business, or hey, we do this, hey, we got this extra, would you like it? And so that's what I look to do. So that program is called the Blessing Bank. And the Blessing Bank, I also collaborate with other organizations in the community who service the population that I serve. So instead of me going out doing all my own thing, I get invited to other organizations, community events, schools, churches, whatever you got going on, and say, hey, can you come bring your 10, 12 tables of categorized items just to give away to the community? That way, the programs and the organizations can focus on programming, and I bring the basic needs for the families, for the youth and the families. Just so you know, HOIST stands for Helping Our Youth Change Every Day. Just so you know, that's what that means. So what am I here for? So we do an annual season of giving. This is my 16th year doing this since my inception, right? And so what we do is we give away toys, pajamas, and books. Now we're at 600, okay, to 600 youth in the community in Champaign County. And so we need help. And this is where you all come in. I'm glad you asked. So one of the main things that we're looking for is we are partnered with some wonderful partners in the community, or the organizations in the community. I'm going to read them off because they're very important to me, because I am very humbled and appreciate all of the things that these organizations do to help support me, to support in the community. If you work or are part of these organizations, just stand up briefly and you can sit back down. Urbana Park District, Urbana Neighborhood Connection Center, DREAM, the Village of Rantoul, the Carter Foundation, the Illini Radio Group, Village of Thomasboro, Urbana Police Department, Champaign Police Department, and Champaign Park District. Thank you. So these partners have either opted to be a drop-off location to receive donations. So we are collecting toys, pajamas, and books for ages 0 to 17. We really need 12 through 17 right now. That is the hardest age range to get gifts for, as we all know, because everything is electronic. And we can't afford all the electronics. So we want to get them, we still want to get them something good, right? So we're really looking forward and pushing for 12 to 17. If that's an area of expertise that you know what they need and what they want, please share with your networks and donate. Illini Radio Group have generously donated and provided free commercials across all 7 radio stations for us during this time of year. So that's really helpful. The collection goes from, started October 15th. I knew you was going to say that. Okay. October 15th through December. And if you want to donate, you can go to one of these drop-off boxes. You could donate monetarily. I have a campaign going on right now called Join the Bump. It's a fun, competitive way to donate. So each donation goes up one increment of $1. So if you donate 10, the next one donate 11, and 12, and on and like that. You add all of that together up to about 263. That totals $35,000, and I can buy the things that are not donated. So please look that up and help. What do we need? We need entertainment. We need 3 to 4 entertainers for each cycle that we do. We need activities for children for Kwanzaa, Christmas, and Hanukkah. We need raffle baskets and gift cards. We give away 80 raffle baskets at this event. Each raffle basket always has a gift card in it. So any of those items, if you know of anyone or yourself or a company that wants to donate, please see us. If you just want to give whatever you want to give, we have Give Butter. You can go to the website, www.hoistcenter.org, and you can donate monetarily. We need translators. That's one major thing we need. We need volunteers too, and translators. We need people to translate for Spanish, French, and American Sign Language. We do have families who come to all of our events, and we need a sign language translator because their children normally sign for them, and I want the children to enjoy themselves and not have to do adult things at this event. I want them to be children. And so we need someone who can do translating and things like that so the children don't have to translate for the parents. If you have any questions, I do have cards in the back. Please share with your networks. There's Season of Giving cards with the donation QR codes. They're back there on the table. Take as many as you need. You need more, give me a call, and I have my card in the back as well.
Dr. Janelle. That really shows you if you have an idea of what you can do and what you can build. So give her one more round of applause. All right, so Maureen Fuller is going to come up and talk about a wonderful leadership partnership with Parkland, United Way, and the Community Foundation.
Hi, everyone. My name is Maureen Fuller. I'm a program manager at Parkland College Community Education. And I just want to take some time to talk about our nonprofit leadership series that we have launching in January. So this series came about through a partnership with United Way and Community Foundation of East Central Illinois. They noticed that there was a need for leadership training within the nonprofit industry and wanted to include us in hopes of developing the curriculum and providing a platform where individuals who are working in nonprofit, want to work in nonprofit, are currently serving on a nonprofit board, or are just interested in serving on a nonprofit board. Just anyone generally interested in nonprofits and learning more about how they work and how to operate one successfully. So we created this series. It initially kicked off in October with our Introduction to Nonprofit Management. This course serves as a prerequisite for the leadership series starting in January. If you missed out on this course, not a problem. We do have a recorded version available for purchase on our website. So if you purchase that, you can watch the recording. We'll send you a link upon registration, and then you have I believe until the end of December to watch one of the videos, and then we have another link for the January 1st, I think, through January 12th, if you wanted to watch that next month. But starting in January, like I said, the Nonprofit Leadership Series is a group of 8 classes. There's 2 classes per month, and they cover various topics in strategic planning, financial standards, mission development, and stakeholder engagement. All of these classes are led by well-known nonprofit leaders in the community. Sue Gray is leading a couple of these classes, Becca Guyette, Bev Baker, and then we are still, and Lynn Peisker. We are still looking for a few more instructors, so if you know of anyone, please let me know. Let's see. You can easily register on our website. If you visit the landing page, parkland.edu/nonprofit, that gives you additional information on all of the instructors, the classes, and then of course there's a registration button where you can kind of view the descriptions for each of those classes and dates and times. I have flyers in the back, but if you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out. My contact information is also on that landing page if you don't catch me after this event. And that's all I have.
Perfect. All right, so I thought I saw, Bonnie, when you guys know what one of my favorite entities is, the Cry for You entity, and one of the originators came in late on me. I didn't see you at the beginning. So Bonnie's here from Cry for You. Let's just give her a round of applause for that work. Cry for You is an organization that works for and with family members that have lost loved ones to gun violence. So just doing great work. Great work. The mic didn't pick you up, so we just said we don't worry about income. We just want to help folks, right? So thank you for all that you do to make our community be the best that it can be. Peace and love to you, and we'll see you next month. Hey, do the survey for us. Pass the word about the survey. We really, really need your feedback. Thank you.